I thought the beast of Bodmin Moor was just a legend until those glowing eyes locked onto me. They say every small town has a secret, but in Cornwall, England, the locals will swear on their lives that the secret isn't human.
I was not entirely
It's
sure
something
what to
that
expect
watches from the
quaint little
moor.
village.
Something with eyes that glow like hot coals and a shape that never seems to fully fit the light. When I first heard about the Bodmin Moor beast, I thought it was just another campfire story, a regional legend, a blurry photo someone took after one too many drinks. But stories don't make your skin crawl. Stories don't make grown men refuse to walk outside after dark. And stories definitely don't leave behind claw marks longer than your hair. I didn't go there to prove anything. Honestly, I went because I didn't believe. I thought I'd spend a night on the moor, record the wind, maybe interview a few locals, and head back home with nothing but cold fingers and a dead camera battery. But the moment I stepped off the train, I felt it. That strange pressure in the air, like the sky was holding its breath. The cab driver didn't even want to take me to the moor's edge. "You shouldn't be out there alone," he muttered, gripping the steering wheel tighter than necessary. His voice had that quiet fear people get when they've learned not to say certain things too loudly. Especially at night. That thing, it hunts. I laughed, but it came out thin. "What thing?" He shook his head. "Whatever's out there. Call it the beast. Call it the devil. Just don't call it toward you." I didn't realize then how serious he was. I thought he was just playing into the folklore. But when he dropped me off and sped away without waiting for his fare, I started wondering if maybe there was something he wasn't telling me.
This small
The
tent
first
is
thing
all
you
we
notice
have
about
against the
Bodmin
wilderness
Moor
tonight.
is the
The
silence.
flashlight beam
It's
barely
not
cuts
peaceful.
through the
It's
emptiness.
heavy, like a warning. Even the wind feels off, slipping past you in quick, uneven bursts, as if it's too scared to linger. The grass moves in long, unsettling waves, and the stones scattered across the land look like ancient graves half swallowed by the earth. And then there's the feeling of being watched. It starts slowly, like a whisper brushing against the back of your neck. You tell yourself it's just nerves, just the cold. But each step you take, it gets a little stronger, a little closer, like eyes are following you from a distance you can't judge. I set up camp near an old tor, one of those massive rock formations that looks like nature tried to build a fortress and gave up halfway. The sun was slipping down behind the hills, bleeding orange across the sky, and the moment the last light disappeared, the temperature dropped like someone had flipped a switch. My flashlight felt weak compared to the size of the darkness around me. It was the kind of dark that swallowed sound, swallowed breath, swallowed everything except your heartbeat. I turned on my recorder. Night 1, Bodmin Moor. Nothing yet, just wind. But even while I said it, I wasn't sure. I kept imagining something big moving out there just beyond the edge of the beam. I tried to sleep. I really did. But sometime after midnight, a noise snapped me awake. A howl, not like a dog or a wolf. It was deeper, wider, like it came from something with a chest the size of a small car. It vibrated through the ground, through my ribs, through every thought I was trying desperately to control. I sat up, my breath fogging in the cold air. Then came the sound of something walking, not on 4 legs, not on 2, something in between, heavy, deliberate steps pressing into the earth. I grabbed my flashlight and pointed it toward the sound. Nothing, but the silence that followed felt alive. The next morning, I walked around my camp trying to convince myself it had been imagination, wind, an echo, anything normal. But when I found the tracks in the mud, my stomach turned to ice. They were huge, long, deep impressions with claw marks gouging the earth, and they weren't shaped like any animal I recognized. I could fit both my hands inside one print and still have space. I followed them. The trail led through a patch of tall grass and into a narrow ravine lined with stones slick from morning frost. The deeper I went, the more wrong the air felt, like the oxygen was thinning or like something was pushing back against me, telling me I didn't belong there. I kept going, because that's what humans do. We push curiosity right up to the edge of danger, thinking we're the ones in control. I heard breathing before I saw anything. Slow, heavy, animal, but not. I crouched low, peeking around a boulder. That's when I saw it. At first, my brain tried to turn it into something normal, a big cat maybe, a large dog. But the longer I stared, the more my mind recoiled. Its body was stretched wrong, too long, too lean, with muscles that rippled under fur so dark it looked wet. Its tail twitched like it was irritated. And its head, God, its head looked like it belonged to something prehistoric. The jaw was too wide, the teeth too jagged, the eyes glowing that unnatural orange I'd heard whispered about. It was eating something, I couldn't see what, but the bones made a wet, cracking sound that will stay with me forever. I must have made a sound, a breath, a shift, something, because its ears snapped up, it froze, then slowly, painfully slowly, it turned its head toward me. Those eyes locked onto mine. I swear time stopped. It didn't move at first. It just stared, as if weighing whether I was worth the effort. Then it opened its mouth, letting out a low growl that felt like it crawled up my spine and settled in my skull. I ran. Branches whipped my face. Rocks nearly twisted my ankles. I don't even remember choosing a direction. I just moved, desperate to put miles between me and those eyes. But the beast didn't chase me, at least not in the way I expected. It followed. I could hear it in the grass, pacing alongside me, but never getting close enough to attack. It reminded me of a predator toying with prey, letting the fear build, letting the panic wear you down until you collapse on your own. By the time I reached the road, I was shaking so hard I could barely stand. A farmer driving past saw me waving like a lunatic and pulled over. The moment I climbed inside, he locked the doors and floored the gas without asking a single question. When I tried to tell him what I'd seen, he didn't respond, just stared ahead, knuckles wide on the steering wheel. Finally, he said quietly, "You're lucky. It usually doesn't let people walk away." As we drove, I looked back at the moor. The grass moved gently in the wind, peaceful, empty. But I swear, just before we turned the corner, I saw a pair of glowing eyes watching from the ridge. People say the Bodmin Moor beast is a myth, a legend created by fear and isolation. But sometimes legends are just truths that haven't been explained yet. And if you ever find yourself near that moor after sunset, remember this. Something out there watches with hunger. Something old. Something patient. And it knows the moment you stop believing in it is the moment it decides to get closer.